Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul and Jack for a quick instant reaction to Aaron Rodgers, Jack, going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's finally happened. And we kind of knew this was going to happen, but it's nice when it finally breaks. And now all the stories and all of the anxiousness of some people and the media playing it up more than it has to, that can kind of be put to bed. So you're the Steeler fan here. I have my opinions on Rodgers, but you seem very happy. I mean, Jack's delighted. Jack's been texting everyone we know, and he's like, I can't wait for the opener in New Jersey against the Jets. Can't wait to go to the home opener against Seattle. Jack basically floated into the house. So please, take it away. It seems like you're delighted.
Cheers. Happy Thursday, Friday Junior. And
Friday Junior.
I love how I put on this whole act and pretended, for the last couple of months that Rodgers was washed and he was terrible. I mean,
you're a fantastic actor.
That's a total joke. I was protecting myself in case Rodgers didn't come to Pittsburgh. I would have been like, all right, he stinks anyway. He's old. He's washed up. But this is Aaron freaking Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm through the roof, dude. I was getting texts on the way home from work when this news broke for a few of my friends. They're like, "Oh, Jack, you didn't want him though, right? You didn't want him." I'm like, fool. Of course I wanted him. This whole time I wanted Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh with the terrible towels. We have the top 5 quarterback in the league. Week one in MetLife Stadium is now a must attend. Aaron Glenn, who told Aaron Rodgers to his face, "We don't want you as part of our plans." Okay, let me go to Pittsburgh, come back to MetLife, and carve you right up.
I forgot about the Aaron Glenn piece of this.
We host the Green Bay Packers Sunday Night Football. By the way, he's playing for the real title town now, not for that nonsense in Green Bay.
Oh, boy.
He's playing in the real title town now in the Steel City. Yeah, I'm excited. I believe now it's Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Rodgers top 3 in the league. And this is just a pure case of, this is like Brett Favre. Great on Green Bay. Leaves. Goes to the Jets. A horrible, miserable,
Black
down in the dumps,
franchise.
Black cloud, pit of doom organization. Everyone's like, does Favre still have it? Comes to Minnesota, 1 year, NFC Championship game. Aaron Rodgers, 4-time MVP, Hall of Fame quarterback, one of the best in the league on Green Bay for years. Goes to the Jets, typical. Jets are terrible. They do their thing. They waste a couple years of Aaron Rodgers. Everyone's questioning, does Rodgers still have it? Is he washed up? Rodgers now comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and just watch. Just watch. I'm through the freaking roof. I'm going to my pool in a couple minutes to have some Coronas. This is going to be a good season. I have us going 18-0.
That sounds about right.
Rodgers to Metcalf.
That sounds about right.
He's a Hall of Famer.
So
HOF.
So I think you can look at this 2 ways. Now, I totally understand your excitement because I was really... I did want Aaron Rodgers to the Vikings.
And
like that's true.
People actually bought the act and thought that I think he stunk.
Oh yeah, when I was saying how much I want him to come to the Vikings.
Yeah, I put on a mask.
But again, here, and tell me if you think that this is a fair assessment of it. If you try to take the blinders off for a second here, tell me if you think this is a fair assessment. I think you can look at it from the Aaron Rodgers side of things and the Steelers side. The Rodgers side, if the Vikings weren't going to take you, because I thought the Vikings were by far the best organization for him to go to in terms of winning at this point in his career. Well, I don't think they wanted him.
Now we're a top 3 team in the AFC.
So I thought the Vikings were the number 1 destination. But after you removed Minnesota, they decided to go with J.J. McCarthy. I think the Steelers were the clear 2, right? You had the other teams being mentioned at the time were you stay with the Jets, go to Tennessee maybe, it goes to Indianapolis, the Raiders. There were all these teams that no matter what they do with Aaron Rodgers, the playoffs seems like a stretch. Pittsburgh seems to me like he could get them again to... I don't know if the division's really in play.
100% is in play.
I guess it's in play.
Be the best QB in the division.
I think Rodgers has at least one more really good year in him. And if you watched him at the end of the year with the Jets, he actually played pretty good football. I'm just looking here. Down the stretch of last season, Rodgers with his 5, 7, 9, 10, 13, 14, 18 touchdowns and 4 picks to close last season. Like, that's... he played better than people think, particularly at the end of the year. And Pittsburgh, I don't like to do too much into the black cloud and blue sky
it's the
franchises.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
But
Aaron Rodgers is going to be good.
So again, Rodgers' side of it, yeah, I think this is the best chance to win for a good organization, solid defense. You got some weapons in DK. I think he could use a little bit more. The Steelers side is a little more confusing to me. I think it's fun and exciting. You bring in a Hall of Famer like that gets everyone going. I mean, look at you. Like if the Vikings brought in Rodgers, I had the thumbnail created and the title. I had everything written out for when the Vikings signed Rodgers, ready to go. And I was ready to say, like, all right, the Super Bowl's on. So I understand where you're coming from.
Super Bowl's on.
For Pittsburgh, to me, while it's very exciting, I ultimately think it's going to get them. And we were talking right before, let's say they win 10 games or 11 games. I think that's a good year. If they win 11 games, it's a really good year, especially in that division. I think they're probably a wild card team that goes to Buffalo or Kansas City again. And I have a hard time seeing them actually making a run at this. Unless if Rodgers is truly just MVP form.
I mean, we're talking about a 4-time MVP. He won't get blown out. We're now a competitive football team.
But there's a piece of me that says with the Steelers, this feels like a continuation of this. When are they going to find the next guy? But again, for 1 year, I mean, I think it's a 1 year thing.
Well, no, it is. But now you have Will Howard to the year, and he becomes the next guy.
Yeah, and you like Will Howard.
I
right?
like Will Howard.
So
yes.
I'm okay with it. Like I think that it's in all likelihood going to result in just pushing this inevitable like restart down the road. I truly
believe we are a Super Bowl contender.
But yeah, look, it all depends on if you think Rodgers has it. So I guess like in hindsight or looking back on my prior takes, if I think Rodgers has one more year, going to Pittsburgh, yeah, they could have a shot if he can turn back the clock. But he needs to be great. And do you think Rodgers, after all he went through in New York, the injury, the recovery, do you think he still has that MVP season? Most people, I'm assuming almost everyone listening to this, is going to say no. But you and I tend to think that the Legends, you're because he's on the Steelers.
He's in the real title.
I tend to think the Legends have that extra 1 year boost in them. But ultimately, so my ultimate take on this is great for Rodgers. I think there's a chance Pittsburgh could be really good. I would be very surprised though. I think they're going to be a wild card and flame out. So I'm not gonna sit up here and rip Pittsburgh for doing it. Yeah, you took a shot, but to me, I would have preferred probably getting this rebuild going.
I just can't wait until we host Green Bay on Sunday Night Football, beat them like 38-7, and then Rodgers is like, this guy Jordan Love's like supposed to be like my like the next like me, like forget it. I cannot wait for that game.
There is the chance of a magical season with Rodgers.
100%.
There is the chance. I don't expect it.
The Jets and Packers are automatic wins. That's 2 free wins on the schedule.
Jets game is in Pittsburgh, right?
Essentially.
I'm sorry. I'm not the Jets game. The Packers game is in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, like I said, essentially.
Yeah, I know. I did
yes,
hear that.
Packers game is in Pittsburgh on Sunday Night Football.
All right. I think
yeah. That'll be a blowout.
So let me ask you seriously. If you try to actually take this like for real, if you pretend for a second you're not a Steeler fan, how do you think you actually compare to the Bengals and the Ravens right now?
Better than both.
Really?
Yes.
Like, you actually think you're better than both?
The Steelers' defense is legitimate.
As long as TJ Watt's there?
We have Watt. Secondary's improved. Deshaun Elliott. JPJ now. Second or third year? Minka's the captain of the defense.
Are most Steelers fans going to like this?
Most Steelers fans are exactly like me. They would have pretended not to.
They'll talk talk themselves into it.
They would have been like, no, like Rudolph's the dude, and now that Rodgers is in Pittsburgh, they'll love it.
Yeah.
It's with the same exact thing.
Okay. What about your brother?
They shielded themselves. Jeff texted me, Rodgers is amazing.
Oh, okay. So every Steeler fan is going to...
The Steelers, we will love it. This is a 4-time MVP, one of the best to ever do it in Pittsburgh. So we're on board.
You think a really bad season puts Mike Tomlin's job in jeopardy? If they decide to do this as opposed to getting the rebuild going, and let's say it blows up. Well, I know it's hard to imagine, but let's say it blows up.
But what do you mean do this? Like this is just letting Will Howard sit behind a vet.
Yeah, I'm saying as opposed to being aggressive in the draft, you could have drafted Jackson Dart. You could have made a move, like you could have gone. I know you don't like Shador, but you could have. Well, Shador, you could have drafted the whole day, but like I'm saying, as opposed to making a move in the draft for, I guess it would have been Jackson Dart, the guy that you seemingly loved the entire process. Let me ask you this: if you could redo it right now, would you draft Jackson Dart still and just have him sit behind Rodgers if you were running Pittsburgh? Is that what you would have done?
Probably have. I mean, I like Will Howard. He was a 6th round pick.
Yeah.
But yes, I would have drafted Jackson Dart.
Okay.
But we took a national champion QB in the 6th round.
So you're fine with taking this shot here. You're very excited.
We took a national champion QB in the 6th round.
Mm-hmm. I saw him play.
And yeah, that's right.
Very good.
And he's sitting behind one of the best quarterbacks of all time for a year. Yes, I don't mind what we did.
Okay. Yeah. No,
I'm ecstatic what we did.
I hope that you guys can get out of this 9-8 funk.
Do you know when he's balling out, throwing 5 TDs and the towels are flying around? What it's going to be like?
I just don't think you have enough weapons.
This is Aaron Rodgers.
I'm just kind of thinking of
it
these
doesn't
on
matter.
the fly.
If you have an amazing QB, you're going to have one weapon and you're fine.
It's too bad. Pickens, obviously, they were done with Pickens, but it's really too bad because seeing Rodgers with Pickens and Metcalf would have been a lot of fun. I think you're missing.
Even Rodgers and Metcalf's going to ball out.
I think Metcalf will have a good year. Who are your other? I need to look at your depth chart. Who do you have
in Green Bay? He had Devontae.
Yeah, I mean, at the end.
You give Rodgers one weapon, and he's Aaron Rodgers.
Like, I just don't know if Robert Woods, Calvin Austin,
it's good enough.
Metcalf and Freiermuth is enough.
We have a top 5 QB in the league.
Those weapons are bad.
We have a top 5 QB in the league.
Sure, even if he's a top 5 QB in the league, I think you might need
top 5 QB in the league in DK. That's 100% fine, and a baller defense.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a great year. It could be a great year.
It's going to be a great year.
All right. We don't have to get too.
That's my reaction.
Too much.
The real title town.
I'm excited for you, and that's why I know that this whole time I've been saying I think that they need to just commit to this rebuild, and I still stand by that. I don't think it'll work, but I can't help but see the excitement and buy into that a little bit.
I think we'd be the Jets.
That's the reason that like guys like me always wind up heartbroken, and maybe you actually might. This is kind of the first time. This is a very Viking thing to do. Like the Steelers don't really do things like this. You usually have, you have your quarterback, you have your, or at the very least recently, you've kind of been in this whole circle of Trubisky and Rudolph and Pickett for a few years. But this is a very Viking thing to go after the aging star, the aging Hall of Famer, and have that we could have one magical year. And it typically ends in, but you know how it ended.
Oh, but if we go to the AFC Chip, I'll sign up for that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm just saying, like, this, like, I'm glad that you're kind of seeing the Viking side of being a fan right here. Because this just feels like this is a very, we did it. We did it with Favre.
But you're also not you're not like the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have a little magic to us that you don't.
No, we have magic. We just run out. We're like Cinderella. The clock hits midnight and we turn back into the pumpkin fast. I don't know if we have the same type of spell, the Vikings and Steelers.
We have just more aura, though.
You have more aura, but I think you're also more likely to just be like 9-8 again. You know what I mean? Like you're more likely to have Rodgers suck, and then Will Howard will come and be unbelievable next year. And you'll just be good for another 15 years. We're the kind of team where it's like Favre would be unreal, have our hearts broken, and now we're still looking. We look for a quarterback for
yeah, I can see that.
Like that's the. I think obviously yours is better, but it's a fun side. Like this is going to be a memorable season for you.
I'm excited. I plan on being at most home games.
Let me just look real quick before we wrap this up. I want to see.
So I'll be missing most Sunday recordings.
I want to see the Steelers schedule and what it could look like here at the start of the season.
We just got one of Cooper reply to my Instagram story. I don't know which Cooper. Where can I hear your thoughts on this? Well, here. Right here when this comes out in about 15 minutes.
So, it's funny you say when it comes out in 15 minutes, but they're going to be on. Yeah. Yeah, here we go.
So, or not 15. Later today.
The start is there.
Later today.
At the Jets, you should win. Hosting the Seahawks, you should win.
That's DK's revenge game.
At the Patriots, I think you should win. I'm not I know people are believers in the Patriots, but then you play the Vikings internationally. That's a loss. So that'll be 3-1. Host the Browns. 4-1.
Rodgers lives in your nightmares. It's 4-0.
No, we're fine with Rodgers now. We just beat it. Last year we beat him internationally. Like that's what we do.
Yeah,
it's what we do
on the Jets. Barely.
Yeah, no, but come on, man.
Barely. He had a chance to win the game with you.
Let's say those 5 games: Jets, Seahawks, Patriots, Vikings, Browns. I think you could say 4-1 is a reasonable. I mean, that's a great start.
5-0.
Then you got Steelers don't have.
We're gonna be 5.
If you win your division games, you're gonna be amazing.
We're gonna be 5-0.
Well, then you got some tough games. Then the test starts. If you start, let's just pretend 4-1. Let's just pretend 4-1. It doesn't have to be the Viking game. It will be, but
we're better than those 5 teams we're playing off the bat.
Unless if McCarthy's the man.
Unless he's like amazing.
Then you go, and this is it. October and early, like your mid-October to early November, I think will tell you who the Steelers are. At Cincinnati, night game. Hosting the Packers, night game. Hosting the Colts, you should win. At the Chargers, night game. I think those 3 of those 4 games there, if you're able to pull off if you pull off a 3-1 or something like that, and you're sitting at 8-2, Super Bowl's on. Because I think 4-1. I know that's a great record, but 4-1 is very reasonable given your start to the season.
I just can't wait for him to just murder the Jets.
Now, if you're like 2-3, then it's. I mean, this is going to get ugly.
As long as we murder the Jets,
that's on the table too. Like I think that the range of outcomes here is
4-1's
really bad to really good.
4-1's the worst possible start.
4-1 is the worst. That's the floor.
Like the Jets aren't beating us.
So wait, let me just look through here. Let's say you go 2-2 there. That'll put you at 6-3. Hosting Cincinnati, you guys tend to win. Like that's one that most people say you'll lose, but you'll win them for some reason. 7-3 at Chicago. Oh, jeez. Then,
I mean, Rodgers owns Chicago. He won't lose that game.
Yeah, he'll win that game. God, that the Rodgers schedule's sick here.
Oh yeah,
he gets the NFC North again, including Green Bay.
The Jets. He gets the Jets revenge game.
He's gonna hate. Like it's gonna be unbelievable. Is there any other revenge match? What other revenge would Rodgers have? Is there anyone else that he'd want to? I can't think.
Do we play the Niners? He always likes to play them well, right?
But the other thing is, with your division too, you play the Bills, so you get Rodgers, Allen, you get Rodgers, Lamar twice, you get Rodgers, you get Rodgers in
Burrow.
Detroit. What were you saying that? Yeah, Rodgers, Burrow. That's what I meant. So it's gonna be, but I really think you need to get out to that like 7-3-ish start because you do close with the Ravens twice. You got Buffalo in there. You got Detroit. I mean, those being 4 of your final 6 games.
Is our last game at home against Baltimore?
Yes.
That's going to be that.
So,
yeah.
you know what it's probably going to be? You're probably going to be like 9-6. Realistically, you're probably going to be like 9-6.
There's no way.
And that'll be a game to flirt with a playoff spot.
We're not going to have 6 losses by then. I don't see
the schedule. The schedule is unbelievable for Aaron Rodgers.
I don't see 6 losses in the schedule. Not with the top 3 quarterback in the league.
Man, I wish you still had Pickens.
Just matter with Rodgers.
Well, you'll get Lazard now. Maybe Randall Cobb will rejoin the team. You forgot. You get the whole. You get the whole show.
You get the whole posse.
Yeah. You get all of that. All right, we'll wrap it up there. So Jack has Steelers going 18-0. I think what 9-8, 10-7 again.
Yeah.
I'll be rooting for you though.
Oh, who's not going to?
I've turned. A lot of people. But I've turned on the Steelers from when we were younger.
To a lot of people, this is like
the most hateable team ever.
This is like evil coming to evil.
Yes.
And I love it.
Yeah, there's a case that the Steelers are, I mean, in general, they're probably a top 3 team that people dislike, but like Cowboys, I'm sure the Chiefs are there, Eagles, like the Steelers are in that. With Rodgers, they'll crack a lot of people's top 3.
100%. And I'm here for it.
But yeah, they'll be fun. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers. Expected, but it's finally happened. Jack has them going 18-0. And we only have 3 more months to find out. See you next week.